The year is 1547, a significant year in Russian history, marking the dawn of a new era. A young Ivan IV, just 16 years old, takes the mantle of Tsar. His youth belies the strength and ambition that will soon define his reign. This act marks a pivotal moment. The coronation is not just a ceremony, it symbolizes the consolidation of power and the birth of a new political entity. Russia transitions from a grand duchy to a powerful tsardom. This transformation sets the stage for an era of territorial expansion and centralized authority. Ivan, later known as Ivan the Terrible, sets his sights on expansion. His reign is marked by both great achievements and brutal tactics. He focuses eastward, conquering the Khanate of Kazan and later Astrakhan. These victories are not just military triumphs, they are strategic moves to secure vital trade routes and resources. These victories solidify Russian control over the Volga River, a vital trade route. Control of the Volga opens up new economic opportunities and strengthens the Tsardom's influence. Siberia, a vast and resource-rich land, beckons. The lure of its untapped resources and the promise of new territories drive Russian explorers further east. Cossack explorers and fur traders lead the charge, pushing eastward. Their expeditions are fraught with challenges, but their determination paves the way for Russian expansion. They establish settlements and forts extending Russian dominion over this immense territory. These outposts become the foundation for future growth and development. This eastward expansion has profound consequences. It not only extends the borders of the Tsardom but also brings new challenges and opportunities. It brings untold wealth from furs and natural resources. The fur trade becomes a cornerstone of the Russian economy, fueling further expansion and prosperity. It also exposes Russia to new cultures and people. The interactions between Russian settlers and indigenous Siberians lead to a rich exchange of traditions and knowledge. The empire grows, stretching from the Baltic Sea to the Pacific Ocean. This vast expanse of land becomes a testament to the ambition and resilience of the Russian state. This vastness presents both opportunities and challenges for the Tsars who follow Ivan. Governing such a large and diverse territory requires innovation and adaptability. The seeds of a mighty empire are sown, but its future remains uncertain. The legacy of Ivan's reign is a complex tapestry of triumphs and tribulations, setting the stage for the centuries to come. The death of Ivan the Terrible in 1584 plunges Russia into chaos. Ivan's reign, marked by ruthless centralization and brutal purges, leaves a power vacuum that no one is prepared to fill. His death sets off a chain of events that will lead to one of the most turbulent periods in Russian history. The time of troubles descends. This era, spanning from 1598 to 1613, is characterized by widespread social upheaval, political instability, and economic collapse. The Russian people suffer immensely as the country is torn apart by internal strife and external threats. A succession crisis erupts with pretenders vying for the throne. The death of Ivan's son, Tsar Fyodor I, without an heir, leaves the throne vacant. Various factions, including boyars and foreign powers, support different claimants, leading to a series of bloody conflicts and power struggles. Foreign powers seize the opportunity, invading and further destabilizing the realm. Poland and Sweden in particular see Russia's weakness as a chance to expand their influence. Their invasions exacerbate the chaos, leading to further suffering and destruction. Famine and social unrest grip the land, threatening to tear it apart. The agricultural collapse leads to widespread starvation, and the desperate population rises in revolt. Peasant uprisings and banditry become common, adding to the turmoil. From this maelstrom of turmoil, a new dynasty emerges, the Romanovs. The Zemsky Sobor, or National Assembly, convenes to find a solution to the crisis. They elect Mikhail Romanov, a young boyar with a strong lineage, hoping he can bring stability to the fractured nation. In 1613, Mikhail Romanov, a young boyar, is elected Tsar. His election marks a turning point as he is seen as a unifying figure capable of restoring order. Mikhail's ascension is a beacon of hope for a country ravaged by years of conflict and despair. His ascension marks the end of the time of troubles and the beginning of a new chapter in Russian history. The Romanovs set out to rebuild the nation, addressing the deep-seated issues that have plagued Russia for years. The early Romanovs faced the daunting task of rebuilding the nation. They implement reforms to strengthen the central government, restore law and order, and revive the economy. Their efforts are crucial in stabilizing the country and laying the foundation for future growth. They work to restore order, stabilize the economy, and consolidate their power. The Romanovs understand that a strong, centralized authority is essential to prevent a recurrence of the chaos that nearly destroyed the nation. Gradually, Russia recovers from the trauma of the time of troubles. The Romanovs' policies begin to bear fruit and the country slowly regains its strength. The scars of the past remain, but the nation is on a path to recovery. The Romanov dynasty would go on to rule for over 3 centuries, overseeing a period of immense transformation. Under their reign, Russia evolves from a war-torn state into a major European power, with significant cultural, political, and economic advancements. The empire they inherited, though scarred by turmoil, was poised for greatness. The Romanovs' leadership sets the stage for Russia's emergence as a formidable empire, capable of influencing global affairs for centuries to come. Peter the Great, Tsar from 1682 to 1725, was a visionary leader determined to propel Russia into the modern age. His reign marked a turning point in Russian history, characterized by a relentless pursuit of modernization and westernization. Peter was not content with the status quo. He sought to transform Russia into a formidable European power, capable of competing with the great nations of the West. He embarked on a series of ambitious reforms, known as the Great Embassy, to modernize the Russian state and society. This grand diplomatic mission took him to Western Europe, where he studied shipbuilding, military tactics, and various aspects of European culture and technology. Peter's travels were not just for show. He was deeply committed to learning and bringing back knowledge that would benefit his homeland. One of his most significant undertakings was the construction of a new capital city, St. Petersburg on the Baltic coast. This city was designed to be Russia's window to the West, symbolizing Peter's desire to open Russia up to European influences. The construction of St. Petersburg was a monumental task, involving thousands of laborers and the draining of vast swamps. Despite the hardships, the city quickly grew into a vibrant center of trade, culture, and political power. Peter's reign also witnessed significant military triumphs. He reorganized the Russian army, introducing modern training techniques and new weaponry. His efforts paid off in numerous battles, where his forces demonstrated newfound strength and discipline. He waged war against Sweden, securing access to the Baltic Sea and establishing Russia as a major European power. The Battle of Poltava in 1709 was a decisive victory that marked the decline of Swedish influence and the rise of Russia as a dominant force in Northern Europe. This victory not only expanded Russia's territory, but also boosted its prestige on the international stage. The empire expanded further south, incorporating territories along the Black Sea coast. This expansion was crucial for securing Russia's southern borders and gaining access to important maritime routes. Peter's strategic vision ensured that Russia would have a significant presence in both the Baltic and Black Seas, enhancing its geopolitical influence. Peter the Great's legacy is immense. His relentless drive for reform and modernization left an indelible mark on Russia. He was not just a ruler but a transformative figure who reshaped the very fabric of Russian society. He transformed Russia into a major European power, modernized its institutions, and left an indelible mark on its culture and identity. His reforms touched every aspect of Russian life, from the military and government to education and industry. Peter's influence can still be felt today, as many of the institutions he established continue to play a vital role in Russian society. His reforms paved the way for Russia's emergence as a global empire in the centuries to come. Peter the Great's vision and determination set the stage for Russia's future successes and its enduring legacy as a powerful and influential nation on the world stage. Catherine the Great, Empress from 1762 to 1796, continued the trend of modernization and expansion. Influenced by Enlightenment ideals, she implemented various reforms aimed at improving education, administration, and legal systems. Catherine's reign also witnessed the empire's territorial expansion reaching new heights. Her armies conquered Crimea, securing access to the Black Sea for good. In the west, she participated in the partitions of Poland, expanding Russian territory further. However, beneath the veneer of progress, social tensions simmered. The vast majority of Russians remained serfs, tied to the land and subject to the whims of their landlords. Catherine's reign marked a golden age for the Russian aristocracy, but also laid bare the deep social and economic disparities that would plague the empire in the coming century. The 19th century proved to be a period of immense change and upheaval for the Russian Empire. The Industrial Revolution began to transform Russia, albeit at a slower pace than in Western Europe. Factories sprang up in cities like Moscow and St. Petersburg, attracting peasants from the countryside in search of work. The rise of industrial capitalism created a new urban working class, but also led to harsh working conditions and social unrest. Meanwhile, the empire faced growing internal challenges. Nationalist movements emerged within its diverse population, challenging the authority of the Tsar. The intelligentsia, influenced by Western ideas of liberalism and socialism, became increasingly critical of the autocratic regime. Russia found itself caught between a desire to modernize and the inertia of its autocratic past. The year 1861 marked a turning point. Tsar Alexander II, recognizing the need for change, implemented a series of reforms. The most significant was the emancipation of the serfs, effectively abolishing the centuries-old feudal system. While this reform aimed to modernize Russia and alleviate social tensions, it also had unintended consequences. The emancipation process proved complex and often left peasants with insufficient land and burdened by heavy redemption payments. Discontent continued to simmer among the peasantry. Alexander II's reforms, while significant, proved insufficient to quell the growing tide of revolutionary sentiment. His assassination in 1881 by a terrorist group marked a tragic end to his era of reform and ushered in a period of renewed repression under his successors. The dawn of the 20th century saw the Russian Empire facing mounting challenges both internally and externally. The disastrous Russo-Japanese War of 1904 to 1905 exposed the weaknesses of the Tsarist regime. Russia's defeat at the hands of Japan, a newly industrialized Asian power, sent shockwaves through Russian society. The war's economic costs and military humiliation fueled public discontent. Internal tensions reached a boiling point in 1905 when a peaceful workers' demonstration in St. Petersburg was met with brutal force by Tsarist troops. This event, known as Bloody Sunday, sparked widespread protests and strikes across the empire. The 1905 revolution, as it came to be known, forced Tsar Nicholas II to make concessions.